is the chairman of the Manifesto Launch Planning Committee of the NDC. He'll walk us through what the party is doing ahead of that and possibly tease out of him some highlights of the manifesto. He's Dr. Peter Boamah Otokunor. He's also the director of the Inter-Party and Civil Society Organizations Relations Committee of the National Democratic Congress. Doc Peter Boamah Otokunor, welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, sir.
Your position is a mouthful.
It's mouthful, actually.
And
it's workful also.
It's workful as well. I see. So I mean, we knew you as Deputy General Secretary, and after that election, we've not been seeing enough of you, or a lot of you, as we used to see. What have you been up to, or what have you been up to really in the party and outside of the party? What has been taking your time?
Well, after the elections, I've been doing enough, but I've been doing so much, even more than before. But except that I don't do media engagements as I used to do. This year alone, I've toured the country about 3 times.
Whoa.
Training our party people. I'm the registrar of the party school as well, and I lead most of the party trainings. And so I've done 3 rounds across the country, train all the executives that were elected, almost 8,000 executives across the country. And I'm also a policy person, and so almost everything about policy in the NDC, I'm heavily involved. And my new role as a director of Inter-Party and Civil Society Relations, so basically corporate affairs, external relations, or the other non-NDC organizations outside. I lead engagements in respect of policy, programming, and all that. And so it's been a lot. But beyond that, one is an agri-economist by profession, and I'm also a lecturer. So I lecture economics at UPSA.
I see.
And I do a lot of consulting, agro consulting. I mean, from livestock to crops, and I'm also a financial economist as well. So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, my table is always full. And last time somebody was saying, "But you alone? Why?"
I see.
You are doing about 5 or 6 jobs.
That's interesting. So let's just get into it. The MPP has been calling for a debate. Mahama, who is the opposition leader, says no, he won't debate. The IE has been trying to push today. They outdoored a 9-member committee to work on the modalities for the debate, etc. Why is the NDC running away from the debate?
Why should the NDC debate anybody in these elections?
Why not? The people that will matter.
Absolutely, the point is the people that matters. Reach out to the people, tell the people what you have for them.
But the people want to see how your ideas, how you bounce off ideas with each other, and then we want to see that engagement.
Every day in your broadcast, when you do stories, you do MPP stories, you do NDC stories. You do MPP manifesto, you do NDC manifesto. There is easy comparison that can be done by the people. Debate brings nothing additional. Indeed, debate is just an icing on the cake. It makes the political system, exciting.
We want that
it makes it beautiful. But again, our friends have said that, when you don't need to debate anybody that is in power, if he has any ideas, he must show. And they said that in 2016, and everybody is wondering what has changed. We have said that we are not interested in any debate. We are interested in reaching out to the people, telling the people our vision for the nation, how we think we can fix and reset this country from the kind of quagmire that our friends have entered into. So
you are not running away from the debate because you are empty?
Absolutely not. Everybody in Ghana knows that if it comes to emptiness, NDC is not one of them. In fact, NDC is, if you want, the only party in Ghana that, when it comes to intellectual capacity, we are outstanding. We have those who have seen it, who have lived it, who have shown it time without number, that they understand what it is about policy, what it is about the technicalities of running a government. And look, this election is a very interesting one. It's just like comparing, alcohol and water. When you know which one can burn your chest and which one will not burn your chest. They have experienced, the people of this country have experienced President Mahama's governance. We have experienced how he ran this country in 4 years.
Yeah, the
outcome of President Mahama's governance.
The pushback often is that, yes, we saw 3 or 4 years of doom. So And that's what the MPP always says, that when you bring Mahama, what you're going to get is doomsday. So we've experienced the
so then those people would be making a very defective argument, because President Mahama didn't carry doomsday from his house and landed it on Ghana. No. Doomsday was a systemic problem that has been there time without number.
That he struggled to solve.
Then he solved that.
He struggled to
He
solve.
didn't struggle. Absolutely not. In fact,
12 years.
In fact,
12 hours.
Let me supply you some data for those defective people who, defective assertions that are being made. When from Nkrumah's time till President Mills became president and John Mahama vice president, our total energy generation capacity was around 1,900 thereabout, 1,900. And our total consumption, as at the time Doomsday started, was inching close to about 2,400. There's no way we should be able to supply that power. But why? That was because the 8 years of the MPP administration, not a single megawatt of power was added to our energy. And so we inherited a situation which is a cause of long years of lack of investment in the generation capacity of energy.
The
and
MPP,
President Mahama,
the MPP and the
generational
was the party that started the Bui Dam, and that's a significant addition.
Well, so Bui Dam started because there was water shortage. No, Selom. Osajifo Badji was doing what? Was generating power. It was not generating power.
It added to the generation.
No, Selom, please. Osajifo Badji was not the please. You see, the reality is that we started having doomsday under President Kufuor. They got some pastors to go and pray because there was water shortage. So the idea of Bui Dam came. The Bui Dam has been on the books for a while. Even Rollins worked on the Bui Dam project. And so they started the project. They didn't get anywhere. In fact, the Bui Dam was less than 5% complete when we came in, because the project started in 2008. So we took over. And we ran and we built the Bui Dam. We don't even claim it as one of our achievements. But even as at the time that Bui Dam was done, our total generation and our total consumption had a significant deficit of about 500 megawatts. And we're not getting it anywhere. And so the thing about energy is that you can't get it from space. You will need to build the generation capacity. And you have a president who used a matter of 2.5 years to build additional, almost double, 100% double generation capacity for the country. We moved
and I take or pay conditions.
Yes, please, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. Because those are very ridiculous assertions. Why? We wanted the machines to run for free.
Not for free, but the conditions could have been more favorable.
So Salom, let's speak to the things that you are inquiring, and let's leave the frivolous ones. Those ones we can do it when we are playing draft or Ludo. But I want to.
The finance ministry told us that a lot of our problems is because of the energy, the power purchase agreements.
If you have a lot of time, we can go there, and I would explain to you why it is frivolous and it should be left at the point where we play Adami. But the point is that you have a president who, within a matter of 2 years, was able to double our generation capacity from the days of Nkrumah. And within 2.5 years, he's able to double your generation capacity to almost about 4,800 megawatts. That is an outstanding legacy. That's a man that, when we talk about, achieving possibilities, that is the man of possibilities, building a nation. Something that we have not been able to do for over 50 years. This man does it in 2.5 years. And you are talking about doomsday. I think that doomsday is one of the greatest legacies of President Mahama in terms of how he fixed it. And everybody saw it, that he fixed before we left.
I see.
Put that aside. President Mahama, in the history of this country, is the only president who has invested significantly so much into the health sector. The objective, the vision was that we wanted to make Ghana the health hub for Africa. As we speak today, because of the major investments in the health sector, nation leaders, state leaders in the sub-region, they come to Ghana for healthcare.
Of course, we have another significant investment, which is quite unprecedented in the health sector. We call it Agenda 111. hospital, over 111, about 111 hospitals dotted across the country, all going on.
Where are the hospitals?
That's quite significant.
You may want to check. I wrote an article. It was published on City FM Online in 2020, and that was in the height of the COVID era. And I made a proposal as part of the things that this country should have done is to, invest heavily in the health infrastructure, because the past 4 years, even the hospitals that were built by President Mahama had been left to rot. In actual fact, the University of Ghana Medical Center was one of them. It was completed, but this government failed to commission it until COVID came. And so this country was having a health sector that was totally ignored and abandoned until COVID came. And I recall that in that article, I proposed that as a matter of urgency, and President Mahama also made the same proposal, that we should make sure we embark on an aggressive health infrastructure, building new hospitals in addition to the ones that he has built. In fact, in 2020, one of the hospitals we had built in Kaswa from 2017 to 2020, the hospital was abandoned. There was no beds. The hospital is completed. Equipment and beds just to get it running was not available until COVID came. Now, fast forward. The president announced that he will build Agenda 111. I don't know why they call it Agenda 111.
Because there are 111 hospitals.
But he promised us that he's going to build these hospitals in 18 months. You remember that? You followed that. Now, how many years on? Not even a single one of those hospitals is ready. How many years did it take President Mahama to build the Ridge Hospital? How many years did it take him to build the Bank Hospital, the Maritime Hospital, University of Ghana Medical Center, and all the district hospitals scattered across the country? How many years? 3 years. In fact, 3.5 years. And so you have a president who is able to do this significant improvement in health infrastructure, in education infrastructure, in road infrastructure, in energy. And you compare that to this ones
in road,
and you say you should go and debate
in road. The MPP claims that it's built it's constructed the longest kilometers of roads this country has ever seen within that period.
Where do you live, Salom?
I live at Adenta.
Mm-hmm. Which road do you use to Adenta? How many potholes do you count on the road when you are going?
No, but what does that mean? I mean,
very good.
New roads.
Now, how many? They said they've constructed over 10,000 or 11,000 kilometers of road. That is from Accra to China. When you drive in Accra,
in a straight road.
When you drive in Accra,
or in a straight
or go beyond Accra, do you see any roads that is of the length from here to China? From Africa, you cross. So it's a straight road. So let's combine all the roads and see if we would get that stretch.
No, but that's
of constructed road.
That's what the record says.
But this is a very deceptive. But I'm surprised you are also.
No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You chair the Manifesto Planning Committee. The Manifesto.
But I'm interested in whether you believe that 10,000 kilometers of road have been constructed.
We'll deal with that when we're playing draft. The Manifesto Launch Planning Committee. What are we to expect on Saturday?
Okay, so what we are doing tomorrow is a sequel to what we did last week, Monday, on the 12th of August, at the UPSA auditorium, where we launched the Youth Manifesto. And so this would be the main manifesto, the mother manifesto, which we are going to launch on Saturday, 24th of August at the EUW main auditorium. It's called the Jofus Anamwa Mensa Auditorium. And we are going to outdoor our major document at that event. We anticipate we are going to have party people gathering and non-party people as well. We have invited the diplomatic corps, various identifiable bodies, including religious organizations or faith-based organizations, civil society organizations. I'm sure the media will be there in your numbers. And we are going to have a remarkable event. And you see, the difference between the NDC and the MPP is so wide and so incomparable that even the youth wing launching their manifesto was well organized, well choreographed. The content was powerful. The content was pressing than what our friends even did last Sunday. And so you should expect fireworks on Saturday. So if youth wing alone was able to do that fireworks last Monday or last 2 Mondays, you should expect fireworks on Saturday. There are a few things that perhaps maybe if you give me the opportunity, I would want to share.
So first of all, why the choice of Central Region? Is it because your running mate comes from there? Why Central Region?
Well, first of all, let me make the point that the NDC is the only nationalistic political party in Ghana. We do our things with national character because we are social. We are a social democratic party, and one of our key principles is egalitarian treatment of all persons and groups of people, irrespective of your religion, society, your ethnic group, where you come from. And so you see that the NDC has stronger presence or stronger coverage across the country than our friends. And so we do not do any special considerations in taking our programs anywhere. But most importantly, we have a running mate for the first time who is a woman. We are shattering the ceiling, and we are doing that with a woman. And incidentally, she comes from the Central Region. We believe that it is very important that we touch base with the people of the Central Region. But also, most importantly, Central Region, for political analysts, those who look at the numbers and look at the trend analysis will tell you that it's a swing region. So for political reasons, one will easily assume that, the NDC is going there because it's a swing region. But essentially, the NDC is going to the Central Region, not because it's a swing region, because, again, we are going to run our campaign there very thoroughly and hope to win. But most importantly, we believe that this manifesto of hope, this manifesto of resetting Ghana, has something to do with the Central Region. Because, indeed, when the idea to seek independence for Ghana was being cooked by the Nkrumahs and co., it started from Central Region. There's something about the Central Region that has to do with independence. And indeed, everybody in Ghana today realizes the need for independence from the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. And this election, as I have said repeatedly, is an independence battle. It's a fight for independence. And our failure in this fight for independence would mean that then we would have sold this country to some Ejapadiye or some family people who have decided to embark on an aggressive state capture of our resources.
So what are we to expect in the manifesto? Of course, not to tell us what is there, what the flag bearer or whoever will be addressing the gathering will be saying. But what are we to expect? What should Ghanaians be looking forward to in seeing the NDC unveil?
Okay, so you have given the caveat that not to mention what is in.
No, just give us a preview of what the manifesto will be.
Well, I may not be able to share any highlights with you except the ones that that was launched as part of the Youth Manifesto, and most of them we have had a fair conversation on some of them. The no fee stress,
but the no fee stress policy. Where the no academic user fee policy, people have questioned the NDC that it's scanty on details. We don't know how you're going to pay for that, and that's quite a huge amount of money you'll be sinking into that. We don't know where that money is going to come from in an IMF inspired economy. How are you going to fund that?
So a few people have decided to have a scanty understanding of this, and that is the problem. But we have been very clear with the policy, and maybe for the want of time, I would want to quickly see how I can digest it in about 3-4 minutes for you. This no-fee policy is a policy that we are bringing just to release the stress of tertiary university students from paying fees. And so we are saying that the biggest challenge of students moving into the university is school fees. And I am a very typical example. I had to stay home 3 years before I started university because of fees. And
but that's just
I had that similar struggle. And so most people just abandon university education because they can't pay the fees. What we are saying is that this time around, when you get your admission, you are qualified, you are passed, you've been selected, you receive your admission letter. All you need to do is to walk to the university and go and register without any stress of paying fees, without any stress of looking for any money to pay the fees. And government is going to pay that fees for you. Then when you are done with your first year, there are other years that you have to also stay in university. We think that one too, there is stress there. As a lecturer, every single semester I have to pay fees. In fact, yesterday, 2 of my students called me that the next semester is coming. They have to book hostel, family is in crisis, they can't pay fees, they need help. And this is a usual refrain for those who are even in academia. They will tell you that students come to them every day. And for those of us in politics, even beyond those we know in school, every day you get people. And so there would be exams time. Students are supposed to write exams, and they are prevented because they can't pay the fees. This is what President Mahama is saying. As part of the no fee stress program, when you go in first year, second year, you have the option of going to sign on the student loan, which student loan will now cater for your school fees.
But the student loan today gives a maximum of 3,000
So I'm coming to that.
3,000 cities is not enough.
Don't worry,
to run the whole
Salom, if you have all the time, you would understand this so easily. And so we know that the student loan that is being given right now is problematic and is not able to take care of the fees. And that is why we speak about the improved and enhanced student loan trust, which student loan trust will make much more bigger allocations to the students. So that if you have signed on the student loan, when you are in second year and you are going to register for your second year, you don't worry about school fees because you have signed on to the student loan and you have made a commitment for your student loan to pay your fees. The commitment and responsibilities between the university and student loan trust fund and not you. And so you go to school from second year, third year, fourth year, and the university will not ask you for a single ounce of fees because the student loan trust is taking care of that. Now, what we intend to do with student loan trust is that we have realized that Get Fund, by law, is supposed to contribute about 10%, not more than 10%. Good, to student loan.
But currently give
in
about
fact,
2%.
Not even 2%, less than 1%. In fact, in the last 8 years, it's been less than 1%. And so, student loan trust fund does not have enough. But why is it less than 1%? Because we have collateralized the Get Fund. And we have capped the ones that is left. So, this year, 7.9 billion that we expected from Get Fund. 4 billion has been collateralized. 3.9 billion that is available. About 1 billion has been capped. And the rest have been distributed for all the sectors of education. So what happens? It means that you will not get enough resources. By our actuarial analysis, if Get Fund is able to contribute only 3% to the student loan trust fund, we would be able to make at least 6,000 CDs available.
Will you decollateralize?
Don't worry, I will come there if you have time. It is your time that is the problem. So if you take the small away, then we'll have a problem. You understand? So we are going to decollateralize. I will talk about that. But essentially, the point I want to make is that our CHIA study shows that if we give 3% to student loan trust fund, we would be able to make an allocation of over 6,000 to the students, each student, which means that we would be able to take care of their fees and we'll be able to get extra, the difference for their upkeep. In that case, any student in school from level 100 to level 400 will not have any stress at all,
but
any worry at all.
6,000 will still not be enough. Africa Education Watch, projected at 15. You need 15,000 CDs thereabout to be able to finish the a year.
So
6,000 is
so what we are saying is that at least that one will take care of fees. We know you need 15,000 because other things will come in. Yeah. You will do photocopy. We all went to school,
accommodation,
and all that. But at least for starters, we would have saved you the stress of school fees, and the little that will come in excess, you would be able to do that. But our intention is to be able to enhance and improve the student loan trust. That means that when we have decollateralized the 4 billion, assuming that we are dealing with 2024, and we have uncapped the 1 billion, we should be able to do not less than 3% to the student loan trust. If indeed this policy comes to life under President Mahama after being voted into power.
So
that means that if we are doing 3% and we can do 6,000, when we do 5%, I believe that we'll be able to do more.
When does it start? University students are likely to go to school in January. If the NDC wins the election, the president will be sworn in January. Does it start immediately?
Well, the implementation will come. The implementation will come because after winning power, you have to do transition. You have to take over and look at the situation and do the policy analysis. What we are very clear about in this policy is that the implementation direction and steps and strategy is very clear to us. And so,
but the when is what's not clear.
In fact, some of the students are starting in August. Some of them are starting their first year in August. Some will start in January. First of all, already there has been some disorganization of the academic calendar in the universities. You have to synchronize that and fix the academic calendar distortions. Then when you have been able to do that, you can take off. And so what we can assure Ghanaians is that this policy is so workable, is so feasible, and let me make this point. People express the fear that, this policy may be taken over by rent seekers, and the corruption that surrounds the free SHS and all that. How will you know the numbers?
But that one, you take your what's the name, your admission letter, and you get sorted in the school.
But you see, that's where the problem comes. So you will see where the case where university will say that 20,000 people have registered, but indeed they are not 20,000, and government will have to go and pay and all those things. Those
government must check that.
Those issues of moral hazard that comes in and all that. So most importantly, for sustainability, there is a need for the money to follow the numbers, and there is a need for us to build monitoring systems, not just human monitoring systems, but monitoring systems that would be foolproof, that will allow us to know the exact numbers that we are paying for, so that we can be able to save resources for sustainability purposes. You are aware that the pre-tertiary allocation of funding from Get Fund, which goes to secondary school education and all the other pre-tertiary education, about 96% of that amount goes to free SHS. You are aware?
Yes.
And are you aware that out of the 96%, 70% of that amount goes into buying food for our students?
I see.
70%. And how is it done? It is consumed by only 10 vendors. Less than 10 vendors who buy the food and distribute. And so you are sitting here.
The students eat the food.
So you are sitting here. Then you buy yam from Accra. Then you send to Techiman and in Nkranza, where they grow so much yam. So you buy rice from China. Then you send the rice to Yagaba Kubore, where there is a lot of rice paddy stacked and getting rotten. And the 70% of that amount of money is going to some individuals. President Mahama has made a commitment that would decentralize the food purchasing program for free senior high school. And when we do that, you know how much we can save?
How much?
We can save over 300 million Ghana cedi every year.
I see. We'll interrogate the figures on another day. Dr. Peter Boamah Otokunor, chairman of the NDC Manifesto Launch Committee, Planning Committee, has been my guest on Point Blank tonight.